God, right?
Yes.
So if we're saying God is love, but we know that the word God comes with baggage, there's theism, which is a belief in God. And then there's atheism, which is actually it's the exact opposite of theism. Right? So it says, I believe God is a particular structure that is a being who looks down from the sky, and that's theism, who is basically going to discipline everyone at some point. There's a God that's in control of everything. He's the one that decides, and typically it's a he, who decides everything. That's a theist version. An atheist version is, I also believe in that same structure or meaning. I just don't believe that meaning exists. And then there's agnostic, that says, well, nobody knows. And then there's pantheism. And pantheism says, God is the tree as much as God is you. God is the squirrel, as nuts as that sounds. That was a corny joke. God is the tree as much as you are. So in that mic stand, God is that too. So that's pantheism. That God is that. And that you can worship the desk as much as you can worship you or Jesus or anyone else. Then there's a tricky one that actually Rabbi Rami Shapiro and Father Rich O'Rourke have been recently sort of mulling around.
Conversing,
And it's been a cool conversation to get to hear and to be a part of.
Cool.
And it's panentheism. Panentheism is not pantheism with saying that mic stand is God, you could worship it. Panentheism says everything is an out-picturing or a manifestation of God. Because everything came from the source that creates. Well, not the mic stand, it's not natural. But natural beings created, made it, and the intelligence to do that, the intelligent design to do that was God. So it's all an outward manifestation. So that you can walk through the grass. And hopefully you do that without shoes every once in a while. Christian Gita Murray said, if you walk the whole earth with shoes, then the whole world feels like leather. So take your shoes up every once in a while and put your toes in the sand. With all that, with having that viewpoint, everything's a miracle. Right? I think it was Einstein who said, you can live as if everything is a miracle, and in doing so, you live in awe. Rather than the opposite, that you look for miracles. Live as if everything's a miracle.
Everything is.
You know what's a miracle for me?
What's that?
A miracle for me last night is that I didn't die. And let me tell you what that miracle consists of. My lungs breathed without me asking. My heart beat without me asking. All of that leads me to a space of gratitude and awe and wonder. And you wake up, and I wake up, the first words out of my mouth, I train myself to do this. Because unfortunately, it's a practice in our world to practice gratitude. I woke up and I said, thank you, God. It's the first words that come out of my mouth every day. Every day. Yes. I went, oh my God, I didn't die.
That's right.
And not in the negative sense of, I might die.
No.
If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul. It's not that. It's that I woke up to the wonder of, wow.
I could experience another day.
Yes. The blood ran through my veins all night.
I know.
I didn't ask my lungs to do it, and they did it anyway. You guys are so awesome. And you send love to these things. This mechanism. That just said, hey, I don't think John wants to die right now. Let's keep the vehicle going.
Let's keep it going for a while.
And it idled all night long. It didn't run out of gas.
I know.
Recharged.
It's amazing.
I know. So now I see life that way. And I see it through the lens of gratitude. Just grateful for whatever comes.
That is so cool.
Which is not always easy with the bad stuff. But again, we call it bad because we don't like it. I called broccoli bad when I was a kid.
That's right.
But it wasn't bad.
Right.
And that's what I mean by that. Is we've really called a lot of things bad. You know, we call divorces bad. Well,
explain that. You were talking about that the other day with me on the phone. We were talking about love and the ultimate, like even through divorce. Talk about, remember we were talking about that?
Well, I have a theory
Okay.
that for me has worked personally. And that's to not, to understand that everything and everyone comes into your life for a reason,
Yes.
a season,
Yes.
and sometimes for a lifetime,
Yes.
but rarely.
Right. Right.
Because everything comes to pass.
Right.
So this idea, well, we've built our society around this idea, till death do you part. Death of what? The death of you, or the death of this current relationship?
Right.
Because if this current relationship, if we put it on a respirator, are we really prolonging the inevitable?
Right.
Right. Somebody at some point probably has to step in and say, we need to flip the switch.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's don't keep that alive. And it's not producing life.
And I know that's hard.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard. Because if you have a family member,
Right.
and the doctor says, and this is what I think we should probably do with any kind of relationship, and not judge it. Not judge it.
Right.
Just see it for what it is.
Right.
It doesn't mean when you go into a relationship with someone and you say till death do us part. I don't mean, and I'm married. I'm happily married.
Right.
I love the relationship I have.
Right.
It's fantastic. But I'm not crazy enough to think that at some point she couldn't change and go in a different direction.
Right.
Or that I couldn't change and go in a different direction. I don't make any demands.
Right.
The problem with demands is that the same demand that you make brings that demand back on you. It creates tension, and every force creates a counterforce.
Right.
So living without force is what's important with love. Living without
Right.
force. Knowing that love is much deeper than most of these commitments that we make out of an illusion.
Right.
But we're conditioned to think that. So the death of the relationship, if you have a loved one who the doctor says, look, they have 50-50 chance that they may come out of this. Well, of course, the 50 that they might,
Right.
for you is 70 that they might
Right.
automatically.
Right.
Because you want them to come out of it.
Right.
But you need to be willing to listen to the professional that comes along, or listen to the messenger that comes along and says, we're at a 5% chance.
Right.
Right. And now you can keep coming back every day and
Right.
perpetually mourning the
Right.
loss every day.
Right.
Or you can let it go, and as Kubler-Ross talked about in her book of the 5 stages of grief, you can go ahead and work through those by letting go.
Right.
And if you let go and let God, then you end up in a much warmer position.
Absolutely.
Is that God calling?
Yes, that's God calling. Let's take
So your relationships become so demanding that they begin suffocating.
Right. Right.
And I don't believe in making demands. In fact, I don't think love does that. I think what does that is, a couple of things, but as I normally do, I'll chase this rabbit under the tree. Okay. So what happens is, and I think what causes the most suffering, is that we want things to be different than they actually are.
Right.
Right.
Right. Or
So-
you have a picture painted of how this is supposed to look like in your mind.
Yes.
And when it doesn't, then it becomes disappointing. So go ahead.
It becomes
Yeah.
disappointing, but what's really, really cool to understand is that with any disappointment is the option for a reappointment. And that reappointment may not include the same people.
Exactly.
But that's all a disappointment is a disconnection from a particular point.
Yes.
But you'll have many scheduled throughout your life.
Yes.
And you can arrive at those whenever the time is right.
Right.
Or whenever you're ready. I
Right.
think the time is always right. But whenever you're ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive.
Right. Right.
That
Absolutely.
idea. So making those demands, typically that suffering comes because the construct we have built isn't working.
Right.
It's not because in reality,
Right.
it's not a reality. It's in our imagination and our creativity. Now, your imagination and creativity are powerful because you can build the life you want. But understand that you building the life you want should never demand that of anyone else.
Yes. Absolutely.
When somebody says to you, when you have gotten to the place in a relationship when someone says to you, I don't love you anymore,
Right.
you probably got there because you didn't see the signs ahead of time.
Right.
You weren't able to actually sit down with someone and say, hey, can we talk?
Right.
What would our world be like if we just do that?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Instead of these angry, well, again, it comes back to love wins. Love is patient. It's kind.
Absolutely.
It's not haughty. It's not puffed up. It doesn't
Right.
need its own way.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's not envious. It's not jealous.
None of those things.
Right.
But God is a jealous God. Well, if you want to believe that,
Yeah.
if you want to believe that, that's fine. I don't.
I don't.
But if you want to believe that, I think
I believe we put a whole lot more jealousy on God than God ever was jealous about.
oh yeah, well that's what
Yeah.
religion's really
Yes. Yeah.
superimposing its own ideas and then saying, can you sanction it?
Right.
And if God doesn't say I sanction it, we just say, we're going to speak for you.
Right. Right.
Thus says the Lord. And,
yeah.
Okay.
And whatever. But it's you really got to know. You got to back to knowing God, knowing who you are, knowing what all that is, and loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything else stems from that. And we could go a million rabbit trails down there, but
Yeah.
keep on going.
Well, that was the turning point for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, well, I actually had a counselor say to me years ago, his suggestion was Christian counselor. And, I credit him and blame him at the same time, right?
Yes.
For starting a lot of this stuff for me. This was
Yeah.
back in 2001.
Wow.
Said, look, what I want you to do is I want you to stop reading the Bible.
Was that hard for you?
Oh my God!
Was it like,
yeah,
what?
I'm pastoring a church. I can't stop reading.
Right.
What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
That's it. That's the only book.
Right.
He said, well, no what? He said, let me finish. I don't mean stop reading the Bible altogether.
Uh-huh.
He said, because we've sat and we've talked 3 or 4 times, and you can quote scripture like you're
Right.
sitting reading it.
Right.
He said, you got it in there. He said, what I want you to do is I want you to read only the words in red
Wow.
for 12 months.
Wow.
12 months? I can't read any of Paul in that
Right.
Wow.
What the hell?
Just read the words in red
Wow.
for 12 months and write them down. Don't read the black text
Yeah.
around the words in red. Just,
The words in
so don't read the setup for the story.
Right.
Just the words in red. Now, whether people believe Jesus actually said those things or not, whatever, but there's a lot of great truths and power in those red words. And when you read the words in red, it does something different to the character of this Jesus that
That's so cool.
we had built up. And
Maybe
Jesus
let's try
said,
that.
love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Not love your neighbor like you love you,
Right.
but see yourself in them.
So cool. Yes.
Love your neighbor.
Yes.
Oh, you are me. I
Yes.
am you. We are connected.
Yes.
When you do that in a relationship with whoever you're romantically involved with, intimately involved with, whatever that might be, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend, whoever you say you love and you're in a relationship with. If you do that, it's like the ebb and flow of breathing, inhaling and exhaling.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds you that you are receiving and letting go all the time.
Yes.
It's an ebb and flow.
Yes.
And then it's a recognition, oh, okay. Everything does come to pass, and the usefulness of the cup lies in its empty space. And oh, the usefulness of my lungs lie in its empty space. And if you don't let the breath go voluntarily,
Right.
it will be taken from you.
Yes.
Right, because you're swimming.
You're gonna have to. Yes.
Either way, you're going to have to give it back, so you may as well
Give it back.
volunteer
That is
that.
so cool.
So that
I
becomes,
love that analogy.
gosh, that becomes the way you live your
so
life.
beautiful. Yes.
Thank you again for visiting my celebrated journey, Love Always Wins videos, where love in action is the source of all miracles. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell button for notification on new videos. Love y'all. Be the change you want to see in the world. Bye-bye now.